Oh, of course. Just having some kind of interactive means so that people who are coming by can play with it too, because it's part of having the experience when you go someplace cool. When you see something, it's not just looking at it; it's being a part of it. Sometimes.
Welcome to GhostEater and Friends.
Oh my god. Hello, hello. We have the one, the only, Alex Nowack with us today. How are you?
I'm so good. So happy to be here, Ghost.
Yes. So, a little bit of background. Alex over here is our lighting tech for our face. He makes this motherfucker do all the cool stuff, like live, when all the cool stuff needs to happen.
When the cool sounds are coming out of the cool speakers, making the cool lights go blank, blank.
Yes, and we appreciate it. We also got some good news today, actually. We funded and purchased our first LED wall today. Yeah!
Let's go!
And Alex is going to be one of our techs. He's going to be helping set it up and run it and learn how it works and make it all cool, right?
Yeah, it's something that's new to me, but not exactly. Having gone to so many live shows, festivals, anything with kind of like a VJ on the production,
right?
It's like it's always been on my mind, but now it's a reality that I'm gonna get to take some of my thoughts and my ideas, what I'm gonna do, and hopefully entertain some people.
Oh, I think it's gonna be pretty fucking entertaining, to be honest. Oh, hold on. No, we're past 30 seconds. I don't want to swear right away. YouTube gets mad. But anyways, I digress. So I kind of want to talk about that. You and me, we have been friends for a long time. And man, you've been friends with Sam for a long fucking time. That's like 2003 or some shit.
Oh man, yeah. I think it was ninth grade summer school.
Yeah.
So
going into ninth grade, right?
Yeah, I think we were going from 8th grade into ninth grade. So like, the city we grew up in, Lakeville, didn't have a 9 through 12 high school until we entered high school into the 10th grade. So for us, the 9th grade was still at the middle school. It was
Yep. And then I think we never were freshmen, right? Like they changed it right when they moved up. They moved.
Fortunately, we never had to do that weird freshman hazing situation where you're the youngest in the school, have to deal with a whole bunch of senior bullshit. There was no seniors at the school at Lakeville South either. I remember that first year. That was crazy.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because they all they kept them together for they didn't split them up for the school, right? They made a new school, but didn't split up the seniors so they could graduate together.
Yeah, why would you want to split up the graduating class? That's just a dick move.
Oh, dude, well, Sam in your class was 400 people? And that was half of it?
Maybe, something like that, yeah. Yeah, I remember, I didn't know Sam, and I didn't know, I think, anybody in that summer school class, and I'm a diabetic personally, and in an attempt to take care of myself and make it to today for this interview many years ago, I was in that bathroom taking some insulin, and I remember Sam came in and was just like, "Whoa!" You stabbing yourself with a needle right now? Dude, what is that? And I was like, insulin. Sick! Just absolutely mind blown that he just walked in on one of his classmates shooting something up into him in the bathroom. But it was totally harmless. Of course, it's just some insulin. And I don't know, we just kind of hit it off through music ever since.
Yeah? Well, didn't you, you had to, stick it right in your stomach. Right?
Oh, yeah, it's just a clean jab.
I remember Sam was telling me, he never saw any shit like that before. So he was like, what the fuck is this? Me and Sam were both afraid of fucking needles.
You know, yeah, and I'm not exactly like shy about it. I kind of like to have a Pulp Fiction effect with it. I just say, just real, just no holds barred.
Right. I mean, hey, you've been doing it, I'm guessing, what, your whole life?
I'm type 1 diabetic, so like it's the genetic variation.
Sure.
Which would mean, yeah, likely it was there my whole life. I think also there's things that can happen that like trigger it, you know, stressful events that kind of kicks that
And like just
of your
breaks
DNA.
your insulin production?
Yeah, your pancreas just decides I quit.
I'm done.
I'm not making insulin for you anymore. And so, yeah, I was 8 years old, second grade.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's
So
been
not like right from birth or anything, but pretty early.
pretty early, yeah.
You had some experience by then, by the
Yeah.
time you met Sam.
By the time I met Sam, I had for sure taken a shot of insulin or two.
For sure. Well, yeah, I mean, hey, it spawned a beautiful friendship. Now, I did kind of want to talk, you know, about how we kind of fell into this. Now, the first time that Ghost Eater did a show, it was the Ghost Eater Experience.
Yep, over at the VFW in Uptown.
Yeah, September 25th, I think. 21? I forget.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds right. I really didn't know what I was doing, to be honest. This is actually the second iteration of that mask, like the third actual build of it. And the first one was like half as powerful, half as bright. And I didn't have anyone helping me at all. I tried to mix like a normal set and like make my face do things. And I mean, look, it looks cool, right?
Yeah, I was just about to say, nobody would be any the wiser unless you let us in on that little secret.
Right.
But now, after being in the driver's seat of the lights on the mask of this whole beautiful thing here, you that was an undertaking. That was impressive that you were able to do all that by yourself up there and make it look as good as it did without. It was phenomenal.
Oh man, the day before I was like practicing at my house, or like fully geared up, trying to do like the whole thing, and I swear I said to myself, "I'm fucking insane. This is fucking crazy. Why am I doing this? This is just so. I'm gonna lose money tomorrow." No, it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna lose money and I'm gonna look like a crazy guy just with this mask thing. But it you know, frankly, it turned like everyone that I hoped would support me immediately supported me. And I thought I would have to succeed a lot more to get that support. And I was like, oh, shit. But then, important lesson, I learned, wow, I'm never doing that again. Like, I think I tried one more time. I did one more stream, like a couple days later, like a month later. Just like wearing my coat, like a coat. And
I think I do remember it was on a rooftop.
Yeah. And back then too, by the way, I mean, I had this like Frankenstein laptop that like I found it had 12 gigs of RAM because I had 8 gigs, but I actually had 16, but it soldered a 4 gig RAM into it, so I couldn't take it out.
You know.
And it worked, right? But then I did it again. I was like, this is just not fucking working. So I thought, man, I should find a homie just to kind of do it with me. You know what I mean? And yeah, I remember the first show was it was actually that same stream, like a year later or something. It was up in the rooftop.
Yep, yeah, that was fun. Oh, that was a ton of fun. That was my first time taking the helm on that.
Taking the reins, and I mean, I really didn't give you much instruction, but that's because
little to none.
Yeah,
little to none.
I was like, well, look, these are the different faces. This is how you trigger them and like get to them, and you know, good luck. But you know what?
No pressure.
You did fucking good though. You did fucking good. I saw that, I was like, oh, thank God, this is perfect. This is perfect. I did it, I was mixing, I was like, oh, much better.
I was so fucking nervous.
Oh,
I was
dude,
so
the
fucking
mask.
nervous. I was like, this is it right here. I was like, he's just like putting this in my lap and giving me control and confidence is in me, and well, I better not let him down.
Yeah, and hey, I do appreciate it. I mean, you did good. Like, the bar, honestly, it was...
I had no idea what to expect. There was no bar. There was no bar. There was zero.
The only bar there was is like, I can't do it. So, can you?
I mean, you threw a backpack at me and said, follow me. And the next thing I know, we're going through security entrances up to a rooftop little penthouse chateau. And there was a bat mitzvah happen outside. They came in. They're like, why are they shutting all the lights off in there? It's because it's time for GhostEater.
Yeah, it's time for GhostEater, man.
It's time for church.
Yes, everybody gather round. Time for worship. we're gonna definitely what's the word when you steal something fancy? Appropriate it. We're gonna appropriate that. We can take from Christians. I think it's okay.
Well, they've taken from everyone else, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's all pagan stuff. I'm just taking pagan stuff back.
Bringing it back.
But back to the point. I can get distracted a little easily. But now that's actually a really cool venue. That's our buddy doesn't live there anymore, but our buddy lived. That building used to be a train station in Minneapolis, like a genuine, like that's how you used to get to Minneapolis.
I love that. I love the history of when you find out that a venue or any kind of, not just a venue, but an old apartment or an old building that got renovated and reconverted into something new that they didn't even have when they built the building. They didn't have nightclubs. They didn't have penthouse pool tops.
But yeah, nothing like Epic or anything.
Yeah, no, they didn't have any kind of LED lighting, if any candle lighting at that.
Right. Oh man, we should have seen the poor people that I was trying to get some insurance today because I have to insure the wall. And I got that figured out, but I was calling these insurance people and trying to explain what an LED wall is to an insurance agent that has no idea. This was a 60-year-old lady, man.
So picture 12 TVs.
Oh, bro. So she kept calling it the LED light. And I was like, well, it's sort of a light. It is technically thousands of lights in a grid. But sure.
Suddenly gets a crash course in resolution.
Dude, they were honestly trying their best, but it was ridiculous. I called in, needed a quote, pretty fucking standard, right? And they're like, okay, they talked to you for 20 minutes, and then they're like, oh, well, we'll have to call you back. All right, fine. So, they put me on hold, couldn't find anybody, so they called me back, right? So they called me back 4 hours later. Now it's 4:30 in the day, and I'm about to finish my day job. And they call me up, and they're like, hey, are you still interested in a business quote? And I'm like, yeah, definitely, because, I haven't talked to you guys yet. And they're like, okay, cool. And they fucking put me on hold.
Ooh.
For 6 minutes.
Ow.
And then they come back and they're like, hey, you're still there? I was like, yeah.
Just insult to injury at that point.
Why were you going to call me if you weren't fucking ready to take my call?
We just needed to let you know that we know you're still there.
We'll be back.
But we don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, hold on. So, after I waited, I was like, alright, I'm deep in now. I'm just answering emails anyways. So, I finally talked to a person. Very nice. They're all very nice, by the way. And I talked to him, talking about 20 minutes, give him all my information, try to explain in vague, not vague, but very specific, what we are, what we're doing, and they're like, okay, and they're like, we can't help you, but we have friends.
We're an intergalactic entertainment corporation.
Oh, it felt like that. They're like, what is this? Is this alien technology? We don't insure alien technology, sir.
So you're lucky we're not trying to have you insure the portal.
Yeah, right, exactly. They'd be like, oh, I gotta call an underwriting guy. But
you can't afford it.
So they finally get me to a commercial guy who can do business things. He's talking to me another goddamn 20 minutes. I'm almost on the phone an hour now. He talks to me and it's like, yeah, okay, well, I think we gotta go with Liberty Mutual. They sound like they have everything we need. I'm gonna call them up. So they call him up, like, alright, nobody's available at Liberty Mutual. But I'm gonna call this other guy real quick. I know he's available. Call the other guy. It's like, alright, that guy's on the phone with another person. So, just give me 1 second here. Let me call. And I was like, you know what, man? I got a meeting I gotta go to. I can't.
So did you think when you traveled here to Earth that you'd be sitting on hold buying insurance?
No.
To be able to, spread your energy and your message with the masses? You have to sit on hold for at least 48 hours. There's a grand total of 48 hours of hold time that you need to get on.
Well, it sounded so logical when it was presented to me, right? They're like, look, you can pay in increments monthly, and then at the end, you own it. And I'm like, alright, that sounds good. I can make the money while I'm paying the money. Okay. And they're like, yo, but if, it explodes, or you decide to light it on fire, or you kick all of it till it's dead. We need you to pay for it.
If I let my intrusive thoughts win.
Yes, then you need insurance. Over. And then the insurance will pay us. And that's what you need. That's what you need. And I was like, you know what? I get it. I'm gonna follow your advice. Alright?
Yeah. Good advice. It was good advice.
That's not bad advice. So I'm like calling all, I literally, like a fool, because I'm not fucking from here. I looked into Google and I said, where do you get insurance for businesses? And Google's like, here's a list. I was like, whoa.
Oh, you let Google pick your list?
Oh, I did. I thought, oh, surely this is a
Ghost Eater.
Surely this list has meaningful information, I thought. And it seemed like it did. It gave me all these phone numbers and websites.
Do you have sponsorships in your dimension?
I don't know. I mean, it's a little hazy. The wormhole kind of fucked me up a little bit. Yeah, I don't know.
Dig into those memory banks a little deeper at another time, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like civilizations did have forms of capitalism and shit, Hard to get rid of,
It's like the stepping stone. You get here first, you have some kind of the Google.
Yeah. Well, the civilizations,
you move on to portals after this.
They're like, hey, I need you to do these things. And they're like, well, I need some resources to do that. And they were like, look, I have resources in a special place for resources. I'll give you this marker that indicates how much I have, So, it's similar to here. But, back then in your future, but my past, I was kind of like a killing machine, That was my design. So I didn't
Stone Cold Killer.
Yeah, well, I didn't pay too much attention to economics, It
wasn't your best class.
It wasn't. I failed hard. That's why I got taken for a ride on these fucking insurance guys. No, they were good. I don't know. He may see this someday, and if he does, Brian, I'm gonna get back to you. I'm gonna call you back. I haven't had time yet. It's just been a busy day. I was literally jackhammering when he called, and I was like, look, man, I couldn't talk to you, even if I wanted to.
Not the right time, not the right place.
Not the right place. I'll get back to him. We got it all figured out. But speaking of, cool venues, I do think that this will kind of bring us an opportunity to find cool venues and try to throw cool shows and had a minor malfunction. OBS decided it didn't like us anymore.
As it does.
Yeah, it does that. It's running on like a supercomputer, so it really shouldn't have problems, but sometimes it does. I don't know. It did that like one other time, so I think it's fine.
Just too hot to handle.
Yeah, right? Alright. Good call. Oh, I forgot to do that. Anyway, what the fuck were we talking about? We're gonna have to just bring it back.
Yeah, it's alright.
Anyway, so, Alex, now, what are some of your ideas? You got some plans for this wall? Now, we just talked briefly about playing some Super Smash on it. That's a good idea. We're gonna have to do that.
Oh, of course. Just having some kind of interactive means so that people who are coming by can play with it too, because it's part of having the experience when you go someplace cool. When you see something, it's not just looking at it; it's being a part of it sometimes. You know?
Yeah.
And so,
we were talking with Paul with Pathos Labs about that concept actually, and what we want to do is like the Microsoft Kinect camera. It actually has it works really well with Touch Designer. And now, eventually, we're going to have a media server powerful enough to run Touch Designer, and we'll be able to utilize it. And then we can send a live video feed, not only to the mask, but to the wall. And then my dream did this. So when we make it big, right, and we're trying to fill arenas, one way that we can include everyone is link the footage to the LED wall with drones.
hey, that's a good idea.
And then fly them around.
I've seen some pretty impressive drone installations and just drone production that I mean, in my lifetime, it seems like something from a futuristic sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
So
well, think about it though. I even thought about this is inspired by Rammstein, by the way. But I
great production of Rammstein.
Yes, the production. Yes, so good. I don't know if we'll ever have that much fire, but it is a goal.
I mean,
that's a lot of fire.
I am part fire sign.
Yeah, that's true.
I do have a little Aries in me.
Alright. You know what? That is true. I won't knock it till I try it. How about that? But, what? We could, make it a part of the show where I'm mixing DJ and doing cool shit, being a cool guy. And then I notice the drone and I wave at it to establish that it's a live drone. And then look at this drone and then send the drone out, And then do that again with a different colored drone. And maybe do that with 3 drones.
Okay.
Depending on how big the venue is.
I think that, as long as, I was going to say, depending on the size of the drone, depending on the size of the venue.
They'll be tiny, but you'll just, I want to make it obvious where to look at it, so you know when it's looking at you. That's
a good idea. Look here.
Yeah, kind of like that. Or just, a light on the camera.
Yeah.
So it'd give good footage, and it would be hard to miss that.
True.
Oh, it's bright. It's shining.
A little spotlight almost.
Yeah. That'd be cool, right?
That would be a cool interactive idea, yeah. Other things, I'm just kind of excited to have a use for my Samsung Odyssey and my Microdose VR program.
Oh, yeah!
I'm just
forgot about that.
I'm kind of just getting excited to start digging into that now.
Yeah,
and have an actual place to put it.
Yes, yeah. It makes really cool shit.
It's an extremely cool program. I have only played with it a little bit, and it's complicated as hell. But man, it's fun. It's fun to start doing stuff. I have a whole nother level of appreciation for Android Jones, people who are using Microdose. And
and the drawing.
Yes.
And the live rendering.
Yes, exactly. Live.
That is cool. We'll get to that sometime.
Oh, of course.
That's
Practice makes perfect.
Like, that's why, like, I remember one thing my human mother was a little worried about. She was like, aren't you like a musician? Like, don't you, are you like supposed to be like writing music and shit? And I'm like, yes, that is what I am, ultimately. But
this is music. It's entertainment.
Exactly. That's exactly it. I'm not just a music thing, right? We're a multimedia company. You know, we make content of all kinds. And visually, though, that's just important in my opinion as the audio has always been foundation. Like, this is all me trying to engineer being able to just spend a few weeks out of the year doing absolutely fucking nothing but writing music. Like, that's it. And then we go on tour, and then I come back, and then we do absolutely fucking nothing, period, for like at least a couple weeks, right?
At least a couple weeks.
At least
a couple weeks.
We're gonna be tired.
There's gonna be a 10 or 12 day period there where I am just gonna be
my phone is
unreachable.
Off. Yeah. You can come and look in the window and I'll wave, and then you can leave.
Yeah, that's unless you're delivering something for me that I have requested.
Yeah. Perform.
See you in 7 more days.
Yeah. And hey, I think we can get there, you know. But you know, I told my human mother too the same thing. Like, I'm not trying to be there all the time. Like, GhostEater is obviously going to use the wall when we're doing GhostEater shit. But even when we're going to be at our peak, we're not always going to need a fucking LED wall. You know what I mean? Or I'm always not going to need it. Or, you know, there'll be a lot of other instances where you know, need it and I'm not going to be there. And it's just a way for us to make income.
Well, and it offers another outlet for the people in the music community or the entertainment business in general in our area to have someone to reach out to. Because it's not like everybody just has an LED wall. It's not like everybody just has this equipment, and to have another option available for when you are trying to book something, some kind of a piece of equipment this big.
Yeah.
Or have us come out, you know, run a whole convention, whatever. You know, whatever it might be.
We could do it. Just to kind of like clarify for everybody out there, like we got a 9.8 foot by 6.6 foot LED wall. It is 4K capable. It's a 2.5 millimeter pixel pitch. We don't have the hardware to run 4K right now. It's kind of expensive to get those cards. We have to get like a top of the line video card to do it.
So continue to support us.
Yes, so please continue to support us and book us. And don't get me wrong, 1080, like, okay, I'll level with you. You don't need it to be 4K. You really don't. But man, it would look really cool if it was.
Ooh, she'd be so pretty.
It's going to be great. So if you do want to book us, starting in August, we'll have that available for rent around the Twin Cities area. We're not going to go farther than like a couple 100 miles. Not yet. But, you know, later maybe. But if you're curious, hit us up. We're all looking for money and work. We got bills, man. So, hit us.
It's hard out here for a pimp.
It is. And it ain't getting easier. I'm excited. I really am. Now, I'm never gonna be like the best at it. Like, I'm excited to like set it up and put it together. You know, I never truly wanted it to be like a lighting designer per se. I know that's probably crazy. Some people think that that's a crazy thing for me to say.
I've always known you to just be a musician.
You're right.
Through and through, just a musician. And ever since, for the longest time, this has been it, is make music. And it hasn't always sounded the same, but that's almost what is so awesome to be a part of the team, is to have seen so many iterations of what that music is and to see where it's going to go in the future.
You heard some of like the worst.
That was bad.
It
was bad. I won't sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
It was impressive in the fact that you had made it. I was like, wow, I can't make this with a computer.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do this. But was it DJ Tiesto? Was it something that I heard and was immediately like,
That's music.
Wow, yeah, it's beauty.
It was.
Wouldn't put those two together.
It was a little far off. I mean, when I first started writing tunes, it was definitely, I was writing like MSI tunes, like just crazy.
That's true.
Rock. And that's
a
even
fact,
worse.
everybody.
That was even worse than the other dubstep that I started writing later. I remember I was dating the girl Sky, bless her heart. She was kind of in the music scene, and I remember showing her some of my dubstep, and she was so supportive. She was like, "Yeah, I can get down to this. I can do it." And I remember, I think I found that file like recently, and I was like, "This is the worst shit I've ever heard. I can't believe I made this." And I showed this to a girl, and I thought, "Yeah, this is gonna be impressive right here. Look at my dubstep."
I'm so proud of yourself.
I mean, I was.
You should be, though.
That I could make the wobbles. I was really proud of that.
You should be. You shouldn't be. Shouldn't be hard on yourself for any kind of thing that you're creative about and expressing something that you're working hard to make. I mean, everyone's difficulty level is different. So for you, something that took you tons of effort, you should be proud of that.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Maybe there are people who just slip right in and are like making top tier,
they're far and few between.
upper ratings on the UK dubstep. They're just hopping right in. Yeah,
Avicii was born really good at making music.
That's an anomaly. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's even an opinion. I think that's just how it is. Mad respect, though. I don't know why. I was listening to Avicii a lot earlier. Sometimes it makes me cry a little bit. And it's good to get that in there. Get a little cry. I don't really have, like, organs to cry as you guys do, But I can still feel a similar sensation. You know what I mean?
Some kind of, like, ethereal vapor, maybe?
Yeah, exactly. It's not pretty when I cry.
Gaseous. Everyone leaves the room.
Everyone's like, think that they're dying. And they could. It's very dangerous. So I don't do it in public, but sometimes it feels good. Get that cortisol out, But moving on. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about you being a musician. Now, I've known you almost as long as Sam. I've been around the earth quite as long, but I got
time is fake anyway.
Yeah, I got the gist of it. I mean, I'm from 20 trillion years in the future. What do I know, 22.1 to be exact. But like, did you used to like rap and stuff? Do you still do that? I know you do a little bit because you recently, or I don't know how recent. Again, time not really my thing. But you were at Harmony Park, right?
Yeah, of course. And I wouldn't want to call it a rap career, but my rap career has been one of those things that fluctuates up and down with frequency. So I'll go years sometimes without saying anything in the form of a rhythm, and then all of a sudden, there's this creative release.
Sure.
And all of a sudden you feel like you could say things again. You could just let it flow. And so I've had the fortune and the honor of getting to just kind of get pulled up on stage a few times at places like the Caboose and Harmony Park a few times with artists like Heatbox and Family.
Yeah.
Those are a couple of monumentous moments for me to be able to show my mom and, hey, look, Ma, I'm on the big stage. There's all kinds of people out here watching me just do a freestyle. Well, see, that's the thing that blows my mind, and I know it's a cliche, but we're our own worst critics. So to know that people are digging it and to continue to get that reassurance years later is just kind of, I don't know,
surreal?
Humbling. It's surreal, yeah. It makes you feel,
sometimes.
that like, wow, I am just kind of doing this because it feels good, and I'm in this moment where I feel this vibe, and you know, if people are digging it, it's like me.
Whoa! You're vibing?
Not me. No, there's no way.
There's no other answer.
Can't be.
It is
can't
you.
But yeah, and that's actually been good for me doing work with the lights for GhostEater, is because having that musician's mentality and keeping account when you're listening to music, it just makes it a little bit easier to make those transitions right on time, to hear where you're thinking to go with it.
It's that rhythm, so you need to have rhythm to be a musician.
It'd be tough otherwise.
Yeah, and I think that people don't realize how tough it would be to be a lighting designer if you don't also have some sense of rhythm as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're saying like your work as a lighting designer kind of complements your work as a musician, is that what you're saying? And then kind of the other way around?
Absolutely. It definitely gives you different appreciations and outlooks on what you could be doing, what might improve a situation. Things like I'm also a flow artist, so I spin toy loops. I can't think of even any flow toys that I haven't played with. Thinking about lighting design, it feels a lot like that. It's like improv. It's this moment of flowing with the music, keeping the beat, keeping the rhythm, all of those things working together. And yeah, of course, when I go back to then making music, playing keyboard, a little bit of something on the side, maybe mixing music myself, I feel this different awareness, I guess, of what's going on in that music, and it offers a little more control, I feel like sometimes. Maybe just the skills are improving, and so it doesn't feel like as much brain power is going into it.
Yeah, you're getting muscle memory down.
True, yeah.
That's what it is. Like, helps you kind of, you hear the beat, right? And then you're like, yeah, and pick up on it right away.
Just like flow toys. Once you get the muscle memory down, boom.
See, that's why I think creativity is near universal. Like, even if you're not traditionally creativity, like, let's say you're not maybe an artist per se, but let's say you're an engineer.
What we think of as traditionally an art.
Right. Human, traditional, creative endeavors, such as being an artist or a musician or a poet or a singer.
Painter, things of that sort.
Photographer, all of those things are accepted to be creative. That the people doing them are forming or expressing themselves in a way, right? And being creative about it. And I think that is a universal experience of life, personally.
It is. I would agree. I think that when you find your thing, the thing that kind of, it doesn't, like, I always hear Gary Vee talk about, find the thing that sets you on fire. Yes. And it's like, he's right. If you can find that, hell yeah. But just when you find the thing that feels comfortable, when you find that thing that you feel natural at, it doesn't even necessarily, I think, have to set you ablaze, because not everyone feels that level of intensity of emotion.
Right.
But the thing that you feel maybe comfortable with, you feel natural going into it, I think that those are things that we find ourselves being really naturally creative at too, where those ideas just click, they flow, they come to you. You start to just view that craft a little bit differently, and what you can do within it. The manipulation of the art.
It kind of talks, that kind of lends itself to the idea too that, all of our art complements each other and interacts with each other. Like, I remember a long time ago, I had a conversation with Jack, Denny from Training and Sound. They're all sound focused. They're all about the sound. That's their thing. They don't even want lights sometimes. Those dubstep and techno guys.
It's all about the sound. Yeah,
it's all about the sound. But in my personal opinion, that was never enough for me. Now, yeah, maybe it's partly due to my ADHD and my brain's just absolutely insatious need for stimulation. That probably plays a part.
6 points of stimuli feel pretty good.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I needed the whole spectrum. I didn't want to ignore the visual spectrum. I didn't even want to bring humanity into it. You know, I'm leaving humanity out of it. Like, you guys are helping me and stuff, but I represent anyone, really. Anyone could be the Ghost Eater. Well, no matter what size or color or what side of the spectrum you're on, like, you know, you can be a Ghost Eater. Like, that's and the boiling point of that is that it's just an experience. You know, it's
The Ghost Eater experience.
The Ghost Eater experience, exactly. Like, it's just to strip away the humanity, you know, because it's a big universe out there, and you're a part of it, you know. And sometimes, especially, I get it, being on a planet where you're the Satian species and you control the whole thing, you can get a little big in your shorts. I get it. I've been there. I've seen it, you know. But it is, like I said, a big universe out there. So I think that it's good to not ever let go of the humanity, but strip it away, strip it down, just consciousness, you know? That's, that's where I think the Ghost Eater experience lore kind of comes from, you know? Like, my father said it best, like, it is an absolutely overwhelming experience. And that is the idea, you know? That's why we have that little warning in the beginning. Like, yes, this is going to be intense, but it's going to be okay. And it's not going to last forever. It's by design. Just hang in there. You'll be okay.
Sometimes people want that warning.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well,
they don't know what's coming because it's not always every show that you get bombarded with production of just high value, bright lights. You know, every possible stimuli that we can tickle.
Yep.
Within
lasers.
within our budget, essentially.
Right. And we're always willing to lose a little bit of money.
Yeah. It goes with the show a little bit.
It goes with it. Yeah.
It goes with the territory.
It is what it is. Can't worry about it too much. I mean, I do worry about it, but
when it feels good, when you see the look on people's faces or you see them dancing, man, the feeling of watching people dancing is just something that you've created.
Yeah,
and that you're offering to them. Oh, it's unbeatable.
It was an experiment, really. Like, I poured all my emotion, all my feeling, everything into that experience, you know? And even, like, my own songs and stuff in there, and the presentation, and everything put together, the whole package, you know? It was designed to be overwhelming, you know, to make you feel. And that's the most beautiful thing I think this universe can offer, is that it is the universe experiencing itself. And I really want to touch all the emotions on that. Like, shout out to my friend Annie. You know, we go way back, and she was at the show. And when we were done, I was talking to everybody, you know, and Annie was fucking bawling. She was like, man, I was not prepared for this level of emotion. I feel so many feelings right now. I don't know what to do, but goddamn, I think that was like her gist of it, you know. And shout out to Annie.
Well, I think she captured the essence of how those of us who've been, you know, your friend for so long and listened to you tell us how you want to bring music to the world, you want to bring fun and feeling. You want to bring feelings to the world and show people a good time.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think that you being so focused on this for so long, to see it actually come to fruition was like, it was emotional for me too. I'll admit it. It was like, this is it.
Boring.
This is it. He did it. Look at this.
I know. That's the way, man. When they came in and they set up that LED wall, I cried. I definitely cried.
And now we're going to be setting up our own.
Now I'm bowing. It's so funny, you know. I was actually following B's advice. You know, we've been talking about this shit seriously for months now. And that's been driving me fucking crazy. I hate talking. I mean, okay.
Says the man. Says the man of the podcast.
I hate meaningless talking. I hate talking about stuff and not doing it. That drives me fucking crazy.
Yeah.
We do live in a world of bullshit. There's a little bit to be expected. That's fine. That is what it is. You know, but I just hated talking about it and not doing it and feeling stuck. And I was like, you know what? He was like, you maybe should look into financing. And I was like, you know what? I fucking should. I fucking should look into some financing. Sure enough, it was way fucking easier than I thought it was going to be. And cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, just a moment of behind the scenes here. This was a thing that went from, 5 days. About 5 days, I feel like I've been getting text messages and
about that. I was like,
front to back, it was like,
what?
We're getting an LED wall.
Yes, exactly. We are. No, I was literally like, I think I should do it. And then I went and I got approved for financing, and then I was terrified. I was like, holy fucking shit. Well, I texted you guys, I texted each of you panicking, actually, and I think I texted to him, like, can I borrow $500? I'm gonna put an account. We're gonna get it back. I'm just really scared. And he actually was, for the record, he was like, yeah, I mean, if you need it. I didn't, though. So I didn't borrow it. But I was really scared.
Oh, yeah, just to even have the security, like, hey, you got me, like, if I need it here, because we're about to take a pretty big leap.
Yeah, that's exactly the way I felt. And then, I don't really like to do anything without at least talking to a lot of people, and, like, my parents, they're very smart people. And they love me, and they'll tell me I'm being a fucking idiot if I'm being a fucking idiot. Mark my words. They wouldn't say fucking idiot, but they would imply it heavily, and I would know.
This is a foolish decision, son.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't fucking do that. That's what my mom would say. But my dad actually had his reaction was like, he called it my destiny. Because I guess when I was, me and Sam, we were both pretty obsessed with lights. From the time we were both on this earth, apparently. According to our father here. And he was like, it makes sense. It does make sense. You can do it. You can probably do it. Mm-hmm. And my mom was like, yeah, it is really risky and it's a bad idea. You really probably shouldn't do it. I don't know if I can support it, but I do support you because, we're loving parents. That was the gist of it. And that makes sense. That's exactly what I expected my human mother to say.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I expected.
It's like a good motherly response.
Right. She was being honest. And it is a big risk. It is. I did eventually buy a brand new car at an exorbitant interest rate. I did. I agreed to it. It's fine. I did the math. I knew it.
You read the fine print.
I read the fine print. I cried about it a little bit. It was fine. But I signed it, got it. It was funded officially today. They took my money and they shipped it out. It should be here. Well, I'll know more details tomorrow, but it's
on the way, baby.
Yeah, 7 to 9 business days is what I was told yesterday. It'll be here.
Exciting.
It's
exciting stuff.
It is a dream come true. And it is it's funny because it's not really that surprising if you know me, is what I'm finding out. People are like, oh wow, you finally fucking did it. That's kind of the reaction I got. It's like, yeah, everyone kind of assumed I was going to try to do it somehow, eventually.
Well, and I think it serves as, for me anyway, it serves as just you're kind of an inspiration of don't give up on your dreams, just keep going. Yeah. And it'll continue to grow.
That's all.
As long as you keep putting in some effort, keep trying, and if something doesn't work, change it up. Figure out what didn't work and adjust it.
Yeah, failure's the biggest teacher.
Oh, it's so good.
Speaking of failure, I literally I've already done this once before and failed at it miserably, starting up a production company.
Well,
I did it with all the wrong people though, and we didn't know what we were doing. But I learned so many lessons that I would never trade for the world. I really wouldn't. And it was good times.
as long as when you talk about taking L's, those are lessons.
Yeah. Ooh, I like
Never
that.
a loss.
I like that. But that actually segues nicely into something else I want to talk about. One thing that I think is really great about you is that you are education focused. You've kind of always been a little bit education focused. You've always been like the big brother figure. Like you may not have the advice, but you're willing to listen to it and maybe try to figure out what the best thing to do would be.
I'll give it a shot.
You always.
I'll listen and I will give it a shot.
And that has transformed to you are recently a graduate, right? You what do you get, a bachelor's? I don't remember.
I did. I graduated from MNSU Mankato with a bachelor's in elementary education. A little bit of additional credits taken there for like a STEM education in elementary settings.
Oh, nice.
So science, technology, engineering, mathematics,
Wow,
for those
you're gonna
who
be
don't
perfect
know
for
what
that.
STEM is.
Imagine the experience you're going to get.
Oh, it's I did my student teaching this last year at a STEM school in Prior Lake, Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, it was so much fun. I was in a kindergarten class, so there was these little 5-year-olds, and they're just still so excited about the world, still so just in awe of everything. And the school had a really cool program where we had like a park around their community that we could just go in, and it was trails through the woods.
Oh, nice.
With all kinds of maple trees, just full of maple trees. And so
those are so pretty.
in the fall, it was beautiful.
Oh my
it was
God.
the most.
In the fall, I suppose. You were just starting.
I just started off in the fall, typical school year beginning. So just to get swept away by this majestic red, orange, beautiful fall color, it was like a nice kind of setting the precedent for what I was going to do, because I kind of took the role as a science teacher. My co-teacher and I, she'd been teaching for 25, 27 years or something. And so she had a lot of experience.
Shit, yeah.
But kept, reminded me she's not super comfortable with teaching science, especially with the new curriculum that they had.
Is she like a classical teacher more? Like, just didn't have science classes? I don't really know.
She did. She just, I think that science tends to be an intimidating subject because there's a mess. There's always a mess. There's a lot of things to factor in. You can't control stuff a lot in science. You can control things if you're doing experiments, but if you're doing observations on the natural occurring world, or especially with 5-year-olds, there is chaos, and it's not an orderly not an orderly subject. Like it gets when it's a little bit later and you're running controlled experiments with one changing variable, things like that. It's different. But the kids
to manage that, like, I suppose
it is a little, once they understand that what science is the nature of questioning things and coming and trying to prove or disprove an idea that you have about why something works.
It's interesting. It's like science is literally the request for absolute truth.
And you can never find it with science because the science itself insists that you question it as soon as it's presented to you.
Right. And as soon as you confirm it, your job is now not only to explain it, but explain it and then prove that.
Yes, exactly. So that's a little abstract for the 5 and 6-year-old brain.
Oh yeah.
Granted, the thing that got me about it that just kind of, I think this next year I'm going to be focusing a lot on GhostEater and just trying to kind of get myself on my feet a little bit more, because teaching is not, it's not for the faint of heart. It's a profession that you enter not as something like a job or even a career, but it's a lifestyle. Right. It's a whole different way of living where you are now suddenly available to your students. And if you're not, if any teacher's watching, you don't have to be like that. You don't have to be super teacher of the year if you don't have it in you. But it just feels natural when you're doing it to give your all to these kids because you're who they know. You're a safe person for them. You're a person they're looking up to.
You're literally helping them form their future.
And that's what, really one thing I took away at the end of the year was hearing so many kids say that they wanted to be scientists when they grew up.
That's awesome.
After being their science teacher, it made me feel so good that I had shown them that science is fun, that science is important, that it's like up to us as people to lead the way into the future. That like we didn't just get here by accident. I mean, there's a little accidents once in a while, probably. But it took science. It took dedication for people to try and solve problems, and hopefully, planted the seed of being the next generation's problem solvers. I like to think I did.
Yeah, I wonder how our teachers think of us now.
I actually had the pleasure of working with one of my old gym teachers when I was a substitute a couple of years ago, and it was a little awkward.
Yeah,
It was a little interesting. He did not expect to see me.
Yeah, I think I remember. Shout out Mr. Gassman, I think is his name. He had the Adidas. Mr. Gassman was.
I never had a Mr. Gassman.
He was awesome. And then Sabetti. Shout out to Sabetti. Never gave a fuck, that guy. Loved it. I remember once he was like, "I'd kill a guy to protect my kids." I was like, "Oh yeah." And Nordgaard, that's another one. Miss Nordgaard. You ever had Miss Nordgaard?
No, nope.
Miss Nordgaard was the shit. Shout out Miss Nordgaard. We ever make it big and they see this? What's up?
Yeah, if that's the case, I gotta give a shout out to Mr. Nord.
Yes, yeah, there you go. That's awesome.
Third grade was awesome.
Yeah, man. Well, I wonder if you'll run into any more.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
Because aren't you working in the same district too?
I was kind of hoping I could find something nearby.
Yeah.
And that would be, if I got to work in the Lakeville School District, then yeah, I think I probably would pop into a few teachers. I asked one when they found out I had been a student of Lakeville Schools as well. I started, and they started asking questions, and I decided, well, I'm going to start asking some questions of my own. And I started asking where some teachers ended up, and quite a few of the ones from our age retired.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But there was a couple of the ones who had come in, I think, when they were young, freshly graduated, that were still working. So yeah, I might end up getting to work with a couple of the teachers from the past.
Teachers there.
Yeah, but and hopefully, I hope to be able to come back to that district and maybe work again to see those kids that I got to student teach with this last year.
Absolutely.
That's maybe the hardest part.
Saying goodbye. You get attached to them.
Oh man, you know me. I'm a big soft.
You see him every day for months, right? Is it a semester?
It was for a whole year.
So that's even worse. So
I saw him like every day for a whole year.
There's something about seeing the seasons change, that really helps mark the passing of time. And I think that helps. You're like, oh man, especially at that age and watching them grow so fast.
Yeah.
Like 3 years later, you're like, oh my god, you're a whole different human now.
Oh, exactly. It's wild.
Oh man, that's so beautiful. I mean, yeah, you are kind of a crybaby.
It's true. I know I mentioned that Aries in me earlier, but Pisces.
But you know,
I'm a Pisces.
we feel it. We feel it. I honestly, let's see. I came to this planet in June. The end of June.
The end of June.
I think I'm a Cancer, right?
I guess depends when in the end of June.
It's the very end, the 30th.
The only thing I know about Cancers is that I love them. So that makes sense.
Yeah. That's a water sign, right?
That is a water sign.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, alright. We hit an hour. See, it kind of blows by.
It does blow by. And I would agree with the previous guests that you could just end up sitting here talking for an extended amount of time.
We just had Nikki a little bit ago. Now, Nikki was actually at the first show, and they are Sam's masseuse.
Okay.
And they, man, when we did the first show, they gave me so many compliments that, like, it made me nervous. I was like, I don't deserve all these compliments. You need to calm down.
Chill the fuck out.
It was like I was in a trance. I was in a dancing trance. I didn't know the world existed, and it like melted away. And they were like, you know, I think they're sober. Like they don't drink or anything.
I was just gonna say, like, that's not even something on drugs. That's someone who is addicted to dancing. So,
yeah,
so that's
exactly. He's like, yeah, it was a good set, and it was long. But I think hour and a half is good. You know,
yeah.
I think we've done a couple, and we don't have to stop an hour, by the way.
The times that I've listened to podcasts and anything that's 4 hours is something in those lengths. I mean, usually it's at least broken up.
Yeah. And I mean, we still need to get new mics. Like, you still are picking up on my mic a lot. I can words. The audience isn't going to hear it, because we fixed that in post. Right, B? But, you know, we do need to eventually get some new mics that are a little bit better at gating the sound, and then they're more directional, that kind of stuff. So, you know, we try to keep it limited just so we don't go crazy trying to edit it.
If you want to feel better, go listen to the early episodes of literally any podcast that's been out for the last like 5 to 7 years.
I think B mentioned that too. He was like, yeah, what was the one you mentioned, like Ryan Paul? Was that guy's name? Ryan Paul?
Jake Paul.
Yeah, Jake Paul. Like their first episodes, B was like, I was driving and I had to turn them off because their volume just kept getting louder and louder, and then it would go back down, and then it would get louder and louder and louder again, and he kept having to turn it up and down. You
don't just start off in like top shelf 1080.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting there. We're getting there.
No, it's a journey.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I do want to say, man, thanks so much for coming. We're definitely gonna have you back in. Now,
yeah, thanks for having me.
We got the wall coming. We're gonna do a bunch of behind the scenes stuff pretty soon. So, you know, I'm gonna film. I don't know if I'll actually be there, but Sam will be there, filming the arriving and, you know, putting it all together, putting the rack together. I'll be there for the rack. Yeah, I'll be there for that.
Racks on racks.
Racks on racks. Love those racks. But we'll also be setting it up and testing it and, you know, showing it on the tube and shit. So there'll be more of you. And we'll need an update in, you know, a couple months.
Yeah.
See what's going on.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Well, it was a pleasure to be here, and of course, make me a regular.
Oh, I will. All right.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to GhostEater and Friends.